Hello there YouTube and welcome back to War Thunder, guys. As you can see, I got my Fluffy Tiger, or my Frosties Tiger, because they're great. That is really bad, I'm sorry. But I've got a massive lineup of Tiger tanks here, which I'm really happy about. The only thing that I'm a little bit about is the time constraints that were given to us to get this tank, because I really wanted to get the P63 or P69, whichever one it was. It's the same fucking plane, but I really wanted to get that because I enjoy getting the low to mid tier premiums, because you never know when you're going to need them. Because of, I mean, with update 1.77 we had a mass of top tier tanks, but in between all them top tier tanks we had things like the RE2000. I can use the low tier biplane that we unlocked when we got the Italian tree. I can use that to grind it out a couple of games. There we go. The 2 new Spitfires for the British. I used my Mustang Mark 1A premium at 3.7 to grind them both out. Took me 6-7 games for 2 planes. Easy. This is why I like them. The Russians, I have quite a few of the P63s for the Russians. Either ones that I've bought or that I've won. I mean, you can see just how many premiums I have just in the low to mid tiers. You know, they're really good for grinding at the really low vehicles. So I was a little bit pissed that they gave us this fun event, tedious but fun event, but just didn't give us enough time to complete the both of them. And I hope that's not going to be a trending thing. But as you can see, it fits in quite nicely, this Tiger. So I've got my Tiger, Fluffy Tiger, or Frosties Tiger, and then we got the Tiger E. Then we got the normal Tiger H1, which is the same as the Fluffy Tiger. Then I've got the VK40501P. Then I've got the PZBFW4P. Oh god, that took a lot of doing. And I've also got the Ursats in as well. But really nice lineup. And whenever they bring out something mid-tier, 5.7, even 4.7, because you can go slightly lower with these. Where is? Yeah, you can go slightly lower. Where is it? 1 to 5 or 1 to 4. Sorry, yeah, 1 to 4, which isn't bad. Although if you're researching tier 1 with a tier 3, then you're really not going to get that much from it. That's why I like to have as many premiums as possible. So guys, sit back, relax and enjoy today's gameplay, and I'm going to be just talking to you guys during the gameplay and doing a little voiceover. Okay then guys, so we're going to start off the conversation or discussion with the grind for the Fluffy Tiger. So the grind really wasn't a big issue for me. As you guys know, I am an absolute grinding animal. It doesn't really bother me, and playing this in normal random battles and unlocking the boxes for the most part in every game wasn't really an issue. The biggest issues for me were the amount of parts needed. 512 individual pieces needed for one tank or one plane, and I felt that was very excessive. And you could obviously tell from that it was quite a rushed, not well thought out event designed by Gaijin. What also sort of threw me back as well was the time constraints. Now, you older hands at the game will remember this from back in the day, where War Thunder would give us 2 vehicles, a tank and a plane, to grind out, and we could only have one simply because of time constraints. And people complained. We complained on the forums, we complained in general chat, we complained in game. The complaining just went on and on and on. They learnt from that, and with this I felt they had taken a step back in that regard and completely sort of ignored the mistakes, or not ignored it, not learnt from their mistakes, I should say, not learnt from their mistakes, and just made the same mistakes again. And it kind of upset me because I wanted both vehicles. As you know, I did say that in the hangar. I love to grind out the planes and I love to grind out the tanks, but with time constraints and just the sheer volume of parts, I wasn't able to do that. So I've missed out on another rare vehicle. but I guess I'll get over that. That's not really the issue. Also wanted to bust a few myths as well about the grind for these boxes. So I heard a few random rumours about this. One was you had to be in game for 8.5 minutes or 12.5 minutes. That is complete rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I was on Abandoned Factory in my ersatz. I got 3 kills and a cap on battle, 15 minutes battle activity, came back out to the hangar and no box. Game after that I was on Corellia again with my ersatz. Drove out of the bottom cap towards B after letting a few teammates go first. As soon as I came out the spawn zone, bang, straight in the side, straight into the side, one-shotted, straight back to the hangar. Battle activity 15 seconds, I had a box. And that wasn't a rare or one-off encounter with that. I had that a few times and ended up with boxes from it. So the time limit on how long you have to be in game was absolute rubbish. Also, battle activity was complete and utter nonsense as well, because a few games where I did quite badly, I didn't do much, I only had a low battle activity, few assists, I ended up with a box. And in other games, like on Abandoned Factory with my ersatz, 3 kills, a cap, and I had 93% battle activity, and I never got a box. So it was just completely random, which really isn't much of an issue for me. I don't mind that because I was playing the game anyway, but it would have been nice if they had explained this to us rather than having people speculate. I really can't stand it when Gaijin, they give you an event and then like this, and they just don't tell you. You just have to apparently make it up. And I think that's really bad interaction with their player base. It's very bad when you have speculation on top of speculation on top of speculation. It just turns into a stupid game of Chinese whispers and no one gets anywhere from it. You know, so in the future I think they really need to address that issue and learn to communicate better with their player base. So this brings me to my next point, guys. We on PlayStation was given an additional 24 hours to grind out the 2 premium vehicles, whether it was a tank or the plane, simply due to the fact that there was some sort of error in the coding for the PSN client and it had to be uninstalled and reinstalled from scratch, so they gave us an extra 24 hours. Even so, I can count on one hand how many Tigers I've seen in possession of PS4 players. So if you are playing PS4 and you have got this tank, just let me know in the comments below, please, as many as possible. I'd love to know how many really have got a Tiger with this camouflage, this premium Tiger, because I've only seen 5. Only seen 5. And when I was flying some Air RB before doing this editing right now and my commentary and everything else, I only see 1 PS4 player in probably 15 or so battles with a King Cobra, the P63, which was absolutely amazing because I was playing at low battle rating just for one of the medals, and I honest to God only see 1 person from PlayStation who had that plane. So did you guys really struggle that much to get it? I'd love to know in the comments below. This brings me on to the subject of the market, guys. Now, as you guys will know, PS4 is restricted from using the War Thunder market, simply because if you want to buy the Gaijin coins, you can only do it from Gaijin's website, and our PS4 accounts are bound to Sony, and that's the end of it. Okay, I don't think Sony wants to get involved in the Gaijin coins simply because it could be construed as a form of gambling, and I think they want to try and stay away from that. I'm not sure, because Star Trek Online has a very similar working with its exchange in game, and that's PC, Xbox and PlayStation. I only really play that occasionally on my PC. Can't stand it on PlayStation, it just doesn't feel right. But it worked really well for Star Trek because it's used with in-game currency. Now you can buy particular items like keys to unlock boxes, and then put them on the exchange for energy credits, which is the in-game currency, a bit like the Silver Lions. So I'm a little bit like, well, why the hell could you not have implemented that in War Thunder? You know, we can use Silver Lions. I've got quite a lot of them. I get quite a lot. I can literally grind out 1,000,000 lions in a day. Doesn't bother me. I can do that. It's easy enough. And the player-made skins could be put in for PlayStation, used in a very similar manner, because it's been an issue for PlayStation clients for a long time. They've always asked, will we ever be able to get user-made skins, because some of them are absolutely incredible. I've seen some on War Thunder Live, and credit to the people that made them. They look absolutely amazing, and to be able to put that on your tank and show off, for them to see their own skins in-game on other people's vehicles must be an amazing feeling. But we are completely restricted from that, and I think that issue really needs to be addressed as well on War Thunder's part. I think they need to look into that, possibly work a way that they can help out the PS4 community and implement the user-made skins for them to use, because it gets everyone involved that way, you know, and that way it stops PlayStation community feeling left out. I've heard so much from PlayStation players moaning that they are left out yet again. Now personally, I don't feel like I've been left out. It really doesn't bother me either way, but it would be nice. Oh look at this new skin I've got, you know, it's very authentic. I can slap that on my tank. A lot of the time I don't really bother with the camouflages. If I unlock a camouflage, I unlock one. If I don't, well, I don't. But a lot of people really do like to unlock them, so I think it's something that the guys in the development team should have a little bit more of a look at. Now we're going to go on to the April Fool's event, and I must say I really did enjoy it. It was really good fun with the submarines. Now you guys also remember that back in the day we had things like the giant snail, the flying unicorns, the inflatable tanks, the walkers, which were just silly events designed to make people laugh, just to enjoy them, and just for fun. But the last few have really sort of turned the tables. We've had the pirate ships, which was obviously the precursor for naval forces. We had the oh bloody hell, my mind is going blank, literally mind fart. We had the more modern tanks, which is obviously what we have in game at the moment, and now submarines. Things are taking a turn. You should know by now, people, because I've said this before and I'll say it again. When War Thunder says, oh no, we're not looking at that, you know, that's not ever going to happen, i.e. missiles, they flip-flop. They go completely 180 and back on their word, and we end up with things that they say are not going to be in game. So there you go. You take what Gaijin says half the time with a pinch of salt, because this is the way that some game developers actually work. They're using misdirection because they want to try and keep us on our toes as well as their own competitors, and they don't want to give too much away, which I can understand for the most part, but it's a bit too secretive at times. Now it's obvious that they are going to be looking into bringing submarines in at some point. If they do, I think they're going to have to limit what they do with them, because it's going to be very difficult to hunt submarines with surface vessels. So as I said before, like on my submarine video, they're going to have to limit them to at least 4 to a team. Any more than that I think will be too much. Even 4 might be excessive. It's just going to have to go into the testing stage to see how it all works out and plays out together, because, well, as you see, they are absolutely lethal. The Cold War era submarines with their passive sonar are gonna be an absolute shit at the slightly higher tiers. The World War II submarines I don't think will be too bad, because you need to be near the surface, your periscope needs to be up, you need to be visually tracking your intended target. So I think it would be easier to spot them and easier to potentially kill them. Although they could make a completely separate game mode for the submarines, where they are attacking convoys and there is a particular group, say a squad of 4 or 6, that have to obviously counter these submarines. You can have a wolf pack and then another team of destroyers defending the convoy, and then they've obviously got to prevent the convoy from being destroyed. It's something that's going to have to be looked into. I think if they put them into random battles the way it was like that, it's going to be a massacre. It's going to be an absolute disgusting evil massacre. So I think that War Thunder is really going to have to take a look at the results of the April Fool's event and act accordingly, and make sure that the game mode is going to be fair and balanced, because obviously you don't want to be torpedoed repeatedly from across the map by a submarine that you can't hurt and you're never ever going to see. So guys, I'm going to sum up the video just quickly before we get to the end. Now obviously talked about the grind, which wasn't that much of an issue, but if they're going to do something similar again in the future, they're going to have to extend the time constraints, make it longer, make it at least a week or 2 to grind out all the parts, and maybe lose some of those parts so it's not as excessive, and it gives you more time to research the ground and air vehicle, so that you can at least attempt to get both of them. Even if you want one, you still might have the opportunity to try and get the second one. Now I don't want people worrying that Operation Summer and Operation Winter are going to be affected by this, because I can't see it happening. They are very well branded and very well tested game modes for the summer events and the winter events, and I don't think they're going to want to screw around with those. Instead of that, I think it's going to be something geared around the market, possibly some random historical event in the year, you know, in between the summer and winter events, so that they can just help the community by giving them away a extra premium here and there, which is always good, and it keeps people playing the game, which is what you want. As for the market and the skins, well, I don't know guys. Hopefully it's sorted out for PlayStation. It would be really fun if they were to implement it properly and we could actually partake in that. I'd like to hear what you guys think, if you think that would be a good idea or not, or you're happy on PlayStation the way it is, because I wouldn't mind seeing the drop boxes for skins. However, I'm not sure that I would be really willing to buy the keys unless I could potentially use an already existing in-game currency, so I wasn't spending more money than I already do on this game, because I have a premium account, I have tons and tons of premiums already, and I really don't want to be throwing more money into the game, because I'll just end up skinting myself, and I do have bills to pay. So guys, I'd love to hear what you think about this. Was it easy for you? Was it hard for you, you know, to grind these vehicles? And what do you think is the future for this market slash grinding event? Because it's very sketchy. They don't really give away much at Gaijin HQ. It's always been a thing with them. You know, there's never ever really been an ETA on updates or patches or anything like that. They literally just say soon or very soon, or it's on the other side of the door, you know. Most other games companies will be like, yeah, you'll have your new update on such and such a date and be ready for it, but no, not War Thunder. So guys, if you have enjoyed today's video and you are new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe guys, don't forget to hit the notification bell for updates on future content. Also, a thumbs up is appreciated, it really does help out the channel a lot. And until next time guys, I will see you soon and have fun.